The hero loadout improvements. Hey Fortnite friends! We mentioned in our last state of development that we have a new hero system in the works, and we are excited to announce that these hero system changes will be in the update 8.0. There's more heroes and more combinations. The current hero squad utilizes only 3 slots, a hero, a support, and a tactical. The new hero loadout will now be made of 7 components: the commander, and 5 support team members, and 1 team perk. Heroes are also no longer able to have a full set of static perks which define their gameplay. Instead, they'll focus on a specific perk, and you can mix and match perks to best fit your playstyle. The hero loadout gives you the tools to play your way, so let's break it down. So this is the home base right next to where we sit as the commander, which is over here. They've got a little rec room sort of thing happening here. Alright, so far from what they've said, they're saying that you've got your lead, you get a team perk, and then you get a perk from the other 5. So it's 7 in total. Main, team perk, and then your extra 5 perks. Hey little mama. We got on a little bit later, yeah. Alright, Commander. The Commander is the hero you play as during the mission. This hero will determine your abilities, your class perks, more on that later, and the Commander perk. The Commander perk unlocks when a hero is evolved to 2 stars, and it's a more serious upgrade to the standard perk. Your Commander plays an important role in your loadout, as a Commander perk packs a major punch. Use this to push your loadout to its limits. Alright, so your commander is who you're playing as, right? So your commander is the one that sort of dictates what abilities you have, and one major bonus, which is kind of like their focus, their speciality, will be, so for example, Bladestorm Enforcer, who was like the kunai specialist in the past, now gets Kunai-Elation. Daggers from the Kunai Storm explode shortly after impact, dealing 8 base damage in a half-tile radius. So for some of these, you'll see that they've taken the support slot role and put it onto the hero's base sort of thing. So what this has started to already do, from what we can see and extrapolate from here, is that each hero has a niche. Each hero has their speciality. So Bladestorm Enforcer, being a kunai specialist, buffs kunais in a unique way. I'll catch up with chat after we read all this as well. Give me a sec. So if you got questions and stuff or ideas, hold on to them for a sec. The support team. So the support team is the bulk of your extra stuff, right? So all your extra perks that come after this, that normally come after your abilities, will be now selected by your support team. So things like Urban Assault, Headshot Fire Rate, things like your whatever it is, like your Shockwave improvements, your minigun improvements, your survivability perks, your armor perks, your gun damage perks, all that stuff is now being pulled from the support team. So they have uncoupled, basically, preset builds, right? So if you were to compare the old system, the new system, you can think of the old system as being presets that were unable to be changed, and the new system being a customizable preset. Customizable to the presets, right? So imagine Urban Assault. So if they've done this how I think they would have done it, Urban Assault will probably have the Headshot Fire Rate perk, right? That will be the base perk. Everything else that Urban Assault has is probably going to be available still, right? Oh, that's interesting. Make It Rain is not the major perk. It's a tactical perk she adds. Okay. Ah, interesting. Okay. So she does add and Make It Rain, like I said. She probably would. Very interesting. So yeah, so Urban Assault is the headshot fire rate specialist of the game. Still, even though they have uncoupled the rest of her abilities and the rest of her perks, I should say, not abilities, they've kept her abilities. She will have grenades, minigun, and shockwave like she always has, but she will only have one perk basically pre-built into her, which will be Make It Rain. The rest of her kit can be probably almost completely remade from just the perks that are available with the right heroes and the right combinations. You could probably remake your Urban Assault. So you can almost think of this, like I said, as a customizable preset option. So we'll see what they say though. Once again, any hero slotted into the team slot will grant you their standard perk and 8% of their stats. This is where you'll be able to leverage your hero collection to build creative loadouts. There will be 5 support team slots, so you'll have plenty of options to customize your build to your preference. You can play as a sniper-focused constructor or a soldier with the most souped-up going commando you can assemble. So, sniper-focused constructor is very interesting, but a soldier with the most souped-up going commando was commando. So, in this sentence, they've just said that you'll be able to recreate commando. Sounds good, Red. I'll also turn this into a YouTube video. So for those that miss it and we can refer to it and, you know, people on YouTube that are interested. The class perks. So the class perks are going to be something that is set to the class, right? So let's have a read. Each class has a set of class perks, which makes the shed traits. Hey, Billy, thanks for the biddies. A set of class perks which makes up the shed traits of each class. If you're playing a constructor, you should always feel like one, but it's more important to us that you have the tools to express how you want to play the constructor. Class perks establish the core of each hero without putting unnecessary restrictions on your gameplay choices. For example, base has now been converted from an ability to a constructor class perk. As a result, all constructors now have their base through the trap wheel. So what this is it's meaning that they're uncoupling an ability, so a class ability, so base, all constructors would have base. What else do we have? What else is, so all ninjas have their double jump will probably be their class perk. A little bit further we'll hear a few more, but basically they're making it so that every time you play that class, they will have their speciality thing. So constructors, very easy one to sort of point out. It's base. Their thing is base. They just have their base. No matter what abilities they have, they will always have their base. That is the way constructors work, and that's the way they've made sure constructors stay. Which is very interesting and sounds like a pretty big buff to constructors, meaning constructors will now have an extra ability, a whole extra ability. Because base is no longer going to be taking up an ability slot. I'll have to see if that's true, but that would be pretty poggers, and it means constructors actually got quite a big buff. So imagine now we have constructors with Bull Rush that never had Bull Rush before, you know? Alright, you'll recognise most of the class perks as they'll previously existed in some form. However, they've all been tweaked to better fit their new role. For some this means reworked or added functionality, while others were simply tuned and adjusted. For example, In the Zone is an Outlander class perk now, and it includes the functionality of Keen Eyes perks by default. So that's very interesting, right? So constructors are the defensive class, right? Outlanders have always sort of been somewhere in between, but mostly orientated, or at least the devs always wanted them to be more orientated towards farming and looting, right? So what they've done is their base class perk has always been in the zone. So they've all had in the zone, right? That is when you hit, I think it's a couple pickaxes in a row, you'll do extra damage after that. Sometimes they'll have a modifier where they move faster, or sometimes they'll have the modifier where they have the Keen Eyes perk, able to see loot through walls. That is now been reworked slightly, so every Outlander that gets in the zone will also have Keen Eyes. So that's in itself a bit of a buff as well, again, to Outlanders, because now there's a whole new perk that is not being taken up by Keen Eyes available to the class. So things like running Pathfinder for the sake of Keen Eyes is a thing of the past. The Pathfinder basically got nerfed, or as I've been jokingly saying for quite a while, removed from the game. So that's brilliant. We've then got the team perks. So this is where it's going to start getting a bit complicated, and this is where it's going to really start. This is really going to affect exactly how you'll shape your builds, your min maxes. This is going to, in some way, limit your choices, but it is an optional thing, but it is also very powerful. So team perks will test the strength of your collection, but among them are some of the most powerful build-defining effects in the game. These perks aren't attached to a hero, but are instead selected from a list of your unlocked team perks. When you first unlock the team perk slot, you'll also unlock 4 team perks. We want to see the creative loadouts you put together. These perks are special because you'll only be able to activate them by fully specifying criteria which support the team. Team perks have the potential to significantly change the way you play, but also get your loadout just right. So here are 2 examples. Soaring Mantis. The Mantis Leap now allows 2 extra jumps, but it does require 3 ninjas to activate. And 1-2 Punch. For each hero with 2 or more stars, your next heavy attack after using an ability costs 20% less energy. So these basically here, you can think of this as a personality match system, right? So you've got your survivors and you want to match personalities for bonuses. That's what this is right here. So first example it's given us is that if you run 3 ninjas, right? So if you run 3 ninjas in your support team, you will get an extra perk basically. So this extra perk will be some of the most powerful things in the game, but like I did said, will in some meaningful way sort of shape and limit your builds. It's probably a good thing, but it does mean that builds are going to be a little bit more defined in a certain way by making sure you're running these bonuses. It matters how, it really does depend on how strict some of these requirements are, right? So 3 ninjas, if you're running a ninja in your main, which you're going to if you want to get this one anyway, so you're most likely going to be using some extra ninjas for extra ninja buffs, right? This makes sense. Something like this. So let's imagine this was something else and it required you to use 2 soldiers and they had to be max level, right? So that's going to limit the way your build can work. That can limit the functionality. So there's a lot of room to customize and play the game you want here. Make your very precise sort of kits and find your sort of play style and your niche. But there is a few limiting factors, including this team perk, which I think it's an interesting sort of min-max, right? So what they're doing is they're forcing you to... They're opening up the whole book to you, right? And then they're forcing you to pay attention to a few different pages of the book, right? So it's an interesting idea, and it's probably a good thing, right? We'll have to see exactly how it plays out. It's going to take time, but it's gonna help shape builds. Instead of being a big spaghetti mess, it's gonna help shape builds into a more like big blob of sensical making things. So it's really going to be interesting. So far, just to recap what we've got, if we've got the main hero, that will be the one that selects your abilities as well as their special bonus they'll give you. Then you'll have your support team, which will make up all the different perks, right? So you can increase your, let's say, your grenades with having more grenades and cluster grenades. So you can basically make MGR, Master Grenader, Remiz, if you want. Or you could take that on whatever hero you want. So this is doing 2 things. This is allowing you to play the game you want and really shape the kit towards your playstyle. And it is actually a little bit allowing you to pick your skin. Because it doesn't mean you're limited by choosing one character and you get their kit, right? So you love the look of Urban Assault and you're willing to take a little bit of a dip in your kit's effectiveness just because you love doing it. You can do that, right? And you'll still be able to rebuild the character to the rest of your playstyle. So this is in itself a little bit of a cosmetic system. which I think is going to be very interesting to see exactly where the player base will take that. I think a lot of the lower levels will pick their favorite skin, where us at the end game will more look at min-maxing. Alright. So 20 team perks have been added as the introduction of the hero loadout. You'll also recognize several existing perks that have been converted to team perks. If team perks aren't on your heroes, how do you get them? Well, here's one way. Mythic heroes. So here we go. We've finally got mythic heroes here, and we'll read why in a second, but already we can see straight away mythic heroes are unique. There's an actual reason for them to be mythic. They do something nothing else can do. So mythic heroes have a special role in the hero loadout. The thing that sets the mythic heroes apart is that they always grant access to a new, unique team perk when you acquire them. Future mythic leads may even have a requirement that you have to complete a quest line before they'll teach the team new combat tricks. This won't be the only way to acquire new team perks, but it's definitely a significant one. So, the team perk. Now, I'm not exactly sure how this works. Let me just reread this quickly. So it looks like you might end up with multiple team perks based on the way you've built your kit, and you'll get to choose through the one that you want, sort of thing. So if you run a mythic, they'll unlock. So mythics are basically a free team perk straight up. So what that's actually allowing you to do is, we're talking about how you've basically been limited in some way. Running a mythic that has a team perk that you like will completely unlimit you once again. So there is a way to keep completely limitless in what you want to roll, and it's rolling with a mythic, running with a mythic, that you can just keep selecting all your different, like you can make the most ridiculous combination of things that just do not suit or do not go together, but you can do it. If you want a team bonus still, you can use the mythic hero. Alright, switching loadouts. Multiple loadouts are here. They had to have been. With the new hero loadout, you'll be able to save multiple loadouts and easily switch between them all. You'll be able to earn additional loadout slots by progressing through the stand and fight campaign. So I don't know how many they've done. I really hope that we get multiple. I really hope they don't limit us to a small number, but you can basically have presets. They definitely have presets. It sounds like when I get in the game, for example, I'll automatically get 10 or whatever, and that people that are in like early game maybe only have 3, then slowly they'll get new ones and new ones and new ones until they get the whole like amount. Because the stand and fight campaign is being completed by me, so I should get max straight away, right? So that's very, very important with such a diverse system like this, such a complicated system like this. Imagine having to swap over everything every time. It would be horrendous. It would mean that you main something, and I mean that's sometimes what people do, but it's good that we have the option to swap, right? Hey guys, I will catch up with you guys in chat in just a second. I'm just going through all this so I can upload it to YouTube so I can point people towards it in the future if they're interested in my thoughts or whatnot. Alright, so we've got the reskins. Going forward, almost all heroes will have a unique perk. Reskins will be reserved for heroes who are either only available through real money offers, for example the Founders Pack, or limited time exclusive rewards, for example Birthday Brigade Remiz. We're also applying this methodology to all existing heroes, which will cause many reskins to now become unique heroes. This means heroes like 8-Bit Demo and Demo Bull will now each have their own unique perks. This extends to alternate characters of the same subclass as well, meaning Demo Bull and Demo Penny will no longer share the same kit. Reskins are dead! Woohoo! So that's fantastic. Like, if you've at all followed the community at any period of time, you know how much reskins irk people. So the only reskins that are going to be in the game are going to be basically promotional and special limited time items now. It's good. Good. Even things that are basically the same, just the male and female variant, are even being uncoupled. It's actually huge. That's actually fantastic. And it once again adds so much uniqueness to the characters you want to play and to pick. So the biggest concern I heard when I was talking to people before I knew anything about the hero rework system, so months and months ago, was that people were really worried that with any sort of changes to the way heroes worked or any sort of cosmetic system being added, was that characters were going to lose their personality. Now, to some extent that has happened. You look at a Pathfinder and it's not a Pathfinder anymore. It is... So let's say Pathfinder has the bonus pick damage. You can look at them and go, oh, they have bonus pick damage. What else do they have? No clue. I do hope they tell us in-game in a user interface. I do hope we can press the escape key or the console pause key or whatever, and you will be able to see their loadout so you know what they're playing, you know how they're sort of playing, right? You know that heavy base doesn't actually have that much of a constructor loadout, but you do, so you should prioritize your base sort of thing. I do hope that's more for pub games as well. I do hope they give that functionality to us. It would be very strange if they did not, but they do say a little bit later that they are iterating some. I do think that maybe we don't have that at first, which is going to make pub games very, very chaotic, and does really lend into that idea that without that unique personality, that instant understanding of, oh, hey, that person's playing urban assault, so they're going to be shooting their guns a whole bunch, is going to lead to a little bit of inefficiency and a little bit of messiness during pub play. But let's be honest, pub play is not the best way to play this game anyway. So I think they have retained personality though, and uniqueness, right? Heroes from past events, and this is now another big one. So this is good, right? We understand that this is a massive overhaul to the way heroes work, and you may have opted out of earning certain event limited items because they were only reskins of heroes you already had, and their perks didn't quite fit your playstyle. Our long-term goal included creating new ways to earn these heroes from previous events. We have some great ideas on how to provide these opportunities, but it's a bit too early to share them. In the interim, we'll be granting everyone a few hero recruitment vouchers you can redeem to recruit event heroes from the collection book. That's huge, right? If you missed heavy base, I'm going to use this example because Reddit uses this example in the daily, right? If you missed heavy base, you can get heavy base now. But the thing is, heavy base is no longer quite heavy base anymore, so whether or not he is going to be as sought after, I would recommend you guys holding onto your vouchers. Do not use your vouchers for the first week. Let myself, other streamers, Allura, let the YouTubers, your Demon Joe Francis, your David Deans, let them work out exactly some combinations and then decide. Save your vouchers, right? We do not know the worth or the rarity, if you will, or the speciality of anything right now. I know a lot of people are going to go into the game and go, oh, hey, that hero I've wanted forever, I'm going to buy it straight away. And they're going to spend all their recruitment vouchers on modified heroes that are no longer that specialty hero they wanted, right? So the person who wanted heavy base forever buys heavy base, and it's no longer that exact hero they wanted, right? YouTubers, you. Hey, Demon. Alright, so new heroes. What better way to celebrate the new hero loadout than with more heroes? We've added 8 new quests, each that will grant a new hero as the reward. These quests are extensions of the class-specific quest lines and are locked at the beginning after SSD2 in Kenny Valley. So there's 8 new heroes, completely unique. Actually, if you guys want to know what those heroes look like, Demon Joe France has a video on that. Basically, they're BR skins. Some of them look really good too. They're all new as well, and we'll be able to get them as soon as the update drops as well, which is pretty exciting. Updated rewards. This is another big one. There is a lot of big stuff. Honestly, this is going to be a long video if I put this on YouTube, and it's like I'm going into it in detail, but this is some great stuff. So the updated rewards. We've made some changes to the way the hero rewards you earn throughout the normal quest progression. These changes were aimed at cutting down the number of duplicate heroes you received to help you expand your collection. So what that's basically saying is that the rewards you're getting through campaigns, you won't get the 20th Urban Assault. You won't get, you know, the 20th Dragon. You will start getting more unique stuff. And that does lend to some of this extra stuff as well. So I would call these all changes in rewards. So continuing, we want to be able to jump right into the new, we want you to be able to jump right into the new loadout and give them a try in game. In order to do this, we're giving everyone a bit of XP, a bit of evolutional mats, and based on your account level. We're also giving you the recruitment materials, manuals and flux, so you can recruit a few heroes from the collection book as well. So get out there and experiment. Updated economy. Our goal is to create more opportunities for you to find and try new builds and experiment with new heroes. We felt that the existing mission rewards were making this difficult to do so we've significantly increased the hero XP, schematic, and survivor XP rewards from these missions, and mission alerts in Plankton, Canny Valley, and Twine Peaks. So those three things are actually pretty big each. No more, well, not as many duplicates, at least from the sounds. You'll be getting more unique rewards, which is always nice. We'll be all getting granted a big, nice bonus care package of extra stuff straight on when we load into 8.0. So we'll be able to get in there and going straight away. I once again do recommend you holding off for at least a week while, you know, the water settles, the kettle cools down, while everything's sort of like in so much flux, and save that stuff till you know what you want to do with it. Do keep in mind that everything, all these heroes, which we're about to talk about, I guess, you will be able to reset them as this starts. So right now is the best time to level things up to try out their kits for free, basically. And when we start fresh, you can, if you want, I don't recommend doing this at least for a week in once again, but you can just like reset everything, get all your materials back, and then only upgrade the stuff you want. All right, and then very lastly, the item reset feature, which I was just talking about, the ability to get everything back and keep the schematic. And then just a side note that they mention here, this is the first iteration of the hero loadout system, and we'll continue to enhance this feature as time goes on. We're excited to see the update, and we're looking forward to all the new awesome creative and ways you utilize the hero loadout. So basically they're just saying this is the start. And things may change, may get rebalanced, all that jazz. But yeah, so to just quickly wrap up, what this means to me so far, from what I can see reading about this, is we are getting a way to play the game we want, right? We are getting the ability to build around our playstyle, around our role, around the objective, around the builds, around your weapons, around the difficulty. You can build around anything the game throws at you now, which is insane. It's going to lead to the game being a lot more fun for people who like min-maxing, for people who like playing their own way, for people that even like playing as a certain skin type. They're now not just limited, like they're limited to their abilities still, but they're not limited straight into their kits, right? So if you want to play Pathfinder because you just love the look of OG Pathfinder, right there. Actually, does it say work? Yeah, so extra pick damage is what she gives. I thought that might be the thing. She gives extra pick, right? So if you love that skin, you can play as that skin. You'll get her abilities, and then you can give her Grizzly's Teddy, right? Buff her Teddy to the heck. So it's really giving some nice opportunities in a multitude of different ways. I think they've got a lot of things very, very well done. They're adding new perks, they're adding new heroes, they're adding new ways to obtain this stuff. They're making mythics special. They're making mythics mythic. They're uncoupling the class perks, the things that define the class, from the perk trait set, and they're giving it to all the heroes. Most notably and most easily explained is base. Base is going to be taken off the hero and put into the trap wheel. As well as things like In the Zone is now getting a massive buff that all Outlanders will now, all Outlanders will now have keen eyes. It does keep in mind this system does mean that there's probably going to be a bunch of rebalancing going on. So right now we're in the Outlander meta. I don't think anyone will ever disagree with this. We're in the Outlander meta. Outlanders are insanely powerful. I would assume they have rebalanced Outlanders in a way that they are now more directed in their original role, which is looter farmer with the side plate of damage, ability-based damage, right? No, not really any weapon buffs. Maybe the pistol buffs will stay there. But their main thing will be looting efficiently. You now also look at your constructors, who are now even a little bit more specialized in being defensive heroes, as well as getting a major buff. The fact that base is coming off their abilities means that they are going to have a whole new ability slot there. So we'll be seeing constructors now that did not have decoy with decoy stuff. Ninjas get the double jump. That's unchanged, I guess. That's a class perk that's going to stay. And then soldiers get the assault rifle damage. That stuff's not really changing. They're not really abilities like base and keen eyes were. They're just slight buffs. But yeah, all in all, from what I can see right now, we'll have to wait a few more days to exactly see. This is looking fantastic, and the biggest issue that I have with this current system, two things. Heroes have lost their personality slightly. You won't just be able to look at Raven and go, oh, that's Raven. He has 2 pistols, he does pistol damage, he's got some grenade stuff going on. You can't look at Sergeant and go, oh, he's got a pretty decent minigun and a good shockwave. You can't just look at the heroes. You can't look at Raider, and go, oh, hey, she specializes in shotguns and has a decent sort of kit got to do with team-based play. You don't have that ability anymore, which is a little bit unfortunate, but I hope they have an in-game user interface to show us that stuff, so we don't have to wonder. And then also, the other thing is I'm worried about how many loadouts will have. They've definitely received the feedback that there should be multiple ways and heaps of presets that we can make, loadouts we can make. They definitely, I do hope they took that to heart, because only having it limited to 5 is gonna suck super hard. And the other thing is, I do hope they do give us presets. I hope you're able to go, oh, I want to play as close to Urban Assault as currently available, and it will pre-build you that. So for people who just want to jump into the action, for people that don't want to mess with the system yet, to people that don't understand the system yet, you can just press a button and you'll get that character sort of thing.